When I look at who I am today and my readiness for expansion into the global market, I see room for growth to make me a rock star, like some of the presenters we met on our trip. But I'm confident that, given the opportunity, I could quickly reach this rock star status. What makes me believe that is how adaptable I've been my entire life. I'm kind of a product of two people who probably should have never have had a child. I attended 12 schools by the time I was graduating as a senior in high school. But this, for me, gave me a lot of invaluable skills that I use both in my everyday life and my home life. It makes me stand out as a person and an employee. I first and foremost am strategic. This can have its downfalls, such as prolonged decision making, but I look at each angle and weigh the pros and cons of a situation before proceeding. Strategy, coupled with intuition, has allowed me to execute high-level projects within my current organization. In order to be strategic, I have to be creative and come up with solutions that are better alternatives to how things are currently being done. My biggest customer that I manage accounts for $7.5 million annually in sales to my company. We have two business units. One is high profit, low volume, and then my side focuses on the U.S. military and other foreign-friendly militaries, where high volume and minimal profit. Right now, my customer is asking me to save them an aggregate of 1% on a specific product so that they can pass along an additional $500,000 worth of business to me, which I'll be taking away from my competitor. A price decrease on this product is impossible because the supply of raw materials is tight, and this is driving prices up on the main component, coupled with already painful margins. Because it's difficult to raise price because it's the government and they really don't have the money to spare right now. So I've been looking at offering to take over the logistics, and I've tried to work a deal with my freight people. But ultimately that's just too much risk to take on, as we own the goods until they arrive to the customer's door. This means that if something happens in transit on a $100,000 order, I have to bear the replacement costs and direct my internal resources away from productive activities to fight with a freight company to recoup our costs. So how am I going to reduce the cost to gain the business? I'm actually drawing up a proposal to shift their cost reductions to other products that we are netting large profits on, because we're the only company that makes these. So some people might ask, well, won't that still take away from the bottom line if we reduce price? The answer is no. We can reduce our internal operating costs by doing larger production runs and holding more inventory on the floor. Now, it might increase our turnover ratio and tie up funds, but with a new surge looming, as we're preparing to send troops overseas in opposition of Russia, the volume sold of the more profitable products will increase in addition to the additional $500,000 we're seeking to obtain now. I'm very in tune with my current industry, which is specialty chemicals made from crude and synthesized base oils. I watch refinery operations, logistics, weather, the price of crude and vacuum gas oils. I have to be up to date on all federal regulations pertaining to how we manufacture, package, ship, sell, and conduct business. Because the oil industry is affected by global and local events, I have to constantly do intel on market trends. I do this in a multitude of ways. I have some pretty close relationships with my suppliers who keep me abreast of changes and the whispers of potential changes, as I try and read as much as I can. The ability to leverage what relationships I have keeps me on my toes and able to plan for any seen or unforeseen changes. What makes me unique is that within my current company, I have worked in each department in one aspect or another over the last 8 years, and I mean all of them. Before we grew to the size that we are now, I used to spend weekends working on the line with the other plant operators to ensure we met delivery dates. I've overseen and still continue to oversee production, customer service, sales, shipping, receiving. I participate in bi-weekly R&D meetings and work side by side with the quality department. In the past, I have received the annual company awards for most new accounts 4 of the last 8 years and high sales 3 years in a row. Last year, I improved our on-time delivery from 85% to an average of 98% monthly. This was achieved through a matrix that I designed, which ties together the necessary raw materials required to produce batches of material for over 20 specialized lubricants to our inventory and production schedules. In addition, last year our accounting department did a complete overhaul of how we tracked materials bought, sold, and produced, and they used my matrix to implement our new accounting system. This has given me an advantage as I know how to make things happen in each part of the organization. This will give me a leg up in understanding who to turn to in another organization to get things done. Through my hands-on approach in my current role, as well as my pursuit of an MBA to better understand the business world, I'm positive that I can learn to navigate even the most bureaucratic corporations in the future. How do these skills translate to my global readiness? Most simply stated, I work for and understand the inner workings of doing business with the Department of Defense, and I know how to operate a successful Western business. People may talk about the U.S. military negatively in politics, but for the time being, we have the world's strongest national defense network. It's intricate, and I understand it. This positions me to dive into a global role and figure out how the company does business and how I can help propel it forward. Do I believe that here and now where I sit that I'm suited to become global today? Yes, but there's areas where I need improvement, and quickly. And here's why. I'm young. I have relatively little experience outside of my current comfort zone. I'm not yet comfortable giving my advice and input to those who are more senior than me if I'm intimidated by them. This makes me look weak, and leaders are less likely to seek out my opinion. So I need to conquer my fear of rejection and get over it. Why do I need to do this? Because I am young. I have a fresh perspective, and more than likely I can offer solutions that perhaps the older generation might not think of after years of doing what's always been done. How can I get out of this comfort zone? In the short term, I will continue to take on as many high-profile projects as possible and increase my visibility both inside and outside my organization, thus proving to myself and others that I can make a difference for the better and that I can steer a company in the right direction through my experiences. I know I won't win every time, but I'll learn from my mistakes and be able to pull together the good and the bad to make sound decisions going forward. I have very little global experience with business to date. I have a few major foreign contracts that I deal with year over year, but I either have a representative on the ground wheeling and dealing on my behalf or I'm bidding on price. To expand my global knowledge, I really need to interact more with my current foreign representatives and customers to gain a better understanding of their needs, business models, partnerships, and most importantly, their culture. I can do this through more active communication, seeking out more answers, and tapping them on the shoulder more often. After our stint in Singapore and Shanghai, my eyes were open to how different a global business needs to act from one country to another. A model that works in one area can certainly tank in another. In order to be successful, I need to broaden my horizons and ditch the one-track business plan approach to ensure that I can adapt and grow in global experiences. This shouldn't be too hard because I'm pretty good at adapting already. A long-term goal of mine is to be out of the state of Illinois within the next 5 years. At the conclusion of the EMBA program, if not sooner, I intend to seek employment elsewhere. While I believe I make my own destiny, I can't really sit here and tell you that I intend on living in a foreign country in 5 years, or that global will even be an option for me. With the knowledge and skills that I have today, as well as what I continue to gain in the future, I'm very marketable, capable, determined, and eager to win. Can I see myself moving to the new Exxon campus in Houston in 2015? Yes. Can I see myself taking a position at a logistics solutions provider like Hobby in Shanghai? Yeah. Can I see myself taking my degrees and starting my own landscape and design company? Yes. At 28 years old, the world is mine for the taking, and no matter what direction I go, I intend to take it. I just need to see what doors open tomorrow as I actively move forward to close the doors of today.